obviously off to your best start that you've had as an MLS club. How does that kind of give you maybe extra confidence, or how does it feel to be in that situation right now, and how does that maybe help you going into these next few games?
I think we're all pretty grounded and remaining, realistic about, where we're at. There's still improvement to be made. Still a lot of games left to be played, but we like the fact that the results have been positive. Performances overall have been positive, but there's a lot of improvement still to be made. And I've said it, it doesn't make any game any easier, and every game's gonna count and add up, and our mindset isn't gonna change. We've evaluated the last 2 games objectively, looked at all the things that need to be better, looked at the things that that have been good that we want to keep doing, and we'll follow that process, win, lose, or draw, every single game for the next 32 games. So, it's a good group from the standpoint of, I think they know they can be a bit better too, even though we've gotten two results, 2 wins, 6 points. I really like working with this group because, they're pretty calm, and not too high or low, and that's what a good team should act like.
Coach Darlington, again named to the U.S. national team, and these games obviously have been more important than any he's played in. A little bit of coach's pride when you see his name come on that list.
Yeah, great. Really excited for him. Obviously, we'll lose him for a game. Not excited about that. It's just, kind of his old state too, so he's going to miss out on a game in his home state. But for him to get called in for the qualifiers, that's huge. Hopefully he gets in those games as well. I know he did well in the last camp, so I'm hopeful that he'll get some time in these games, and that'll be another step in his career, playing in a qualifier and fighting for points. These 2 games are very important for the national team to get results. Really excited for him, and looking forward to seeing him contribute, hopefully.
Coach, Roy Miller, we saw him against LA. Sounds like he's going to be asked to step up again with Liam out. What have you seen from him so far in training, and what did you think of his first performance with the team?
Yeah, Ridgewell's still a week out, at least. Odds are Miller will be in there again. It's nice to have a full week to train him. I thought he did a really good job, obviously, especially considering only getting 2 days of training. It helps when he's an experienced player. He knows the league, speaks English. He's played on that pitch. He's played on this pitch coming up, obviously with another team a couple times. But all those things help. Then when a guy comes in and everything's new and every player's new and the language is new, so I think you saw that in the quicker transition that he made. The other thing is that position is pretty standard for the most part, central defender. Yes, he'll get better in terms of the chemistry with the other players in the back line, but for the most part, that role is pretty box standard, and he's an experienced central defender. He's played that role more than any other role he's played, and you can see he's very comfortable in that role, and that's where we had him slated to play. In signing him, we knew he could cover us at left back, but we signed him to be a cover center back, and he's left-sided, so we never want Reggie to be out, but ultimately we needed better cover if and when that happened, and we feel good that we were able to get a result with a couple injuries. We weren't able to do that last year, and I'm glad that we were able to in this game.
Coach, Cubo Torres has 2 goals this season. After going 2 seasons without scoring a goal, have you noticed anything different about how they're playing him? And also, we talked about the psychology of playing for a guy to go through a drought that long. What does that say about him?
Yeah, I thought that might happen because he's worked with Wilmer before, and a lot of a player's performance and confidence comes from the coach. You know, if a player knows there's a coach that believes in him, that trusts him. He's scored goals with Wilmer, with Chivas before, and I think little things like, I'm sure the conversations Wilmer has had with him will lift a player, and you're seeing that. Obviously, I had a chance to coach Kubo here with the All-Star team. He's a great kid, and you know, it's good to see him back playing well. I hope he has a bad game versus us, but he's a good player. He's a goal scorer, you know, and I just don't think he ever really got the confidence, full confidence, you know, prior to now.
Caleb, I wanted to know how David Guzman is doing, and if he's not available this weekend, who can slot in that plays most like him, that lets Chara be the midfielder that you've talked about wanting him to be this year?
You're not supposed to ask questions to give answers to hurt our scouting, Sam. I'm gonna have to
Sorry.
do you want to win the game or do you want to lose the game? No. So we don't know on Guzman. It's day to day. You know, he has an AC joint sprain. So he obviously took an injury. He was in pain and he left the game. Didn't train yesterday. Didn't train today. Did some stuff, you know, on the pitch, on the side, but nothing contact. And he'll be day to day. So we don't know, honestly, if he'll be in the game. We'll prepare like we always do, with and without him. We have several options that we can go with. You know, obviously the Zemansky option was one we went to in the game. We went to that option for different reasons, but we were up a goal, and you know, we felt in that game and with the match state what it was, that was the right decision. But there are other options that we can do. We can slide Darlington in and go with another winger. We can play Immobile Kugo. Everybody brings different things. It all depends always on each game, the opponent, and current form of the players, and what we want to get out of the game. So those are kind of the options we could go with if he's not in the game.
Coach, you talked about Torres already. Excuse me. I was hoping you could talk a little bit more about the Dynamo's overall style of play, what you see as their approach this year, and what maybe's changed since last year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised that the team's done better. I have a lot of respect for Wilmer. I've known him a long time. Knew him when he was with the U17 national team, and he did a nice job there. Knew him when he was with Colorado, playing a big role working with Oscar. And you know, he had a tough situation at Chivas, but you could see the team was fighting and they were organized. And you know, I knew that would be the case with him taking over this team. I think he earned that right to get the job as well with what he did. You know, with the USL team. You know, he's a guy that gets his teams organized. He gets his teams fighting. He's smart in what he wants, clear in what he wants. You can see they have athletic players that can hurt you, and you know, it reminds me a lot of some of the things you saw you see with Oscar's teams. But Wilmer's his own guy, you know, and but I think he gets this league. He gets what works, and you're seeing a team that's organized. That plays in transition, and they have the players to open you up. If you're not balanced and smart in managing that, you know, Kyoto's a very good player. We know him very well. Obviously, played for Olympia in Honduras, and you know, when he first played against us here on this pitch, he caught our eye. You know, we've liked him for a couple years, and he obviously did very well in that series against us, so we know him very well, and he's a dynamic player. Ellis as well. So that front three is dynamic, and everybody else, when you look at their team, it's a pretty good team. I said that last year when we played Houston. They have good players, and I think the key is he's getting the most out of them. And then there are a few new pieces that have made him even stronger.